additional conversations as time goes on. The first thing I wanted to provide you with is our current policy that's in place. And I know you all have this. Did I give you two-sided one? Yes. But I just wanted to bring to your attention that we have addressed this somewhat, this is just a copy of our policies. And if you'll notice, 1.07 orientation of board members. At the very bottom, it says it is the responsibility of each new member to attend the state orientation conference following each general election. So it's there. Do we need to improve? Yes, but I wanted it to be clear that some of these items are in our policies. And then number 1.08, participation in activities of educational interest. Each member of the board is encouraged to participate in activities and programs. And so they are in our policies. What I would ask of the board is to consider if you think our policies need to be amended. And if that's the case, to get with Dr. Ruiz and have some conversation with him on that. The second thing I wanted to share with you this evening is the actual the indicator that they referenced, indicator 2.2 in our review. So I just wanted you to be aware of exactly what they're asking of us. And on the back, if you'll notice, there are different levels. And so I would ask that the board begin to think about what level you would like to strive for. At the very least, they're asking that we do roles and responsibilities. And I've done some research, and that particular topic will be offered at the next School Board Association, not their June conference, but their conference in December. But additional information on that conference is not available yet. As soon as I find information, if that's the route we decide to take, I will be glad to share it. And there's also a place there for a 1-hour PowerPoint presentation, but the link isn't working. So if you give me time, I will investigate that some more and share with you if it's available. Dr. Ruiz, did you want to comment any more on this item?
Yes, ma'am. And you and I had a chance to talk briefly, and I shared thoughts that I had about training, and I think as in my mind as a core of training on an annual basis for the school board members would be the roles and responsibilities of school board members, and trainings that I've been into, that includes the role of superintendent and responsibility of superintendent as well. I think that would be something that could be done on an annual basis. You're already required to do the ethics training, which would be another component that I would consider to be core. In my mind, I would consider it to be training would be to attend each year a legislative update. You can attend those physically at different locations. DOE has a website presentation as well. But I think those three things are would be, to me, on an annual basis, at least in my thoughts, would be the core the training annually for the school board members. Now, there certainly will be, we know, other topics that will come up from year to year that might be essential or critical for the board members to attend. But I think that at least we could say those three core things, and then build from there.
Dr. Burns?
And I just want to follow up on that, because when we made the decision several years ago not to be a part of the Florida School Board Association because of the cost, we did also know that we could attend their sessions or training and pay as we go to those trainings. But they also offered to come to us as well, didn't they, at that time?
Mm-hmm. And I did find information about that on their website. And so for on-site technical assistance, so on-site training, according to their website, the fee for this service for non-members is $1,500 per day for curriculum development and $1,500 per day for delivering the training, in addition to all travel, lodging, and food expenses of the consultant.
I think we better go to them.
So I can tell you the dates of the next conference if that's the way we decide to go, and that is November 29th through December 2nd. But it's my, through experience, because I went several years back, that sometimes there's just a one day where there's stuff that's interesting to you. So it isn't always that you need to go the whole entire time. So I will continue watching that for the board, and I will bring information to you, and Dr. Lewis and I will continue conversations. But I would ask that each one of you find time to talk with Dr. Lewis and let him know what's on your mind as well. Ms. Cook.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly, without having read all the way through this, but if we take trainings not as a board, but we take trainings with an emphasis on education, do we turn in a certificate saying that we completed that training, and does that qualify?
I think that's something we need to talk about, you know, with regard to how the board wants to proceed with that. I would certainly think that something like that, you know, next time that the accreditation external review committee comes in, and, you know, they say, well, you know, in addition to, and I go back to what I was talking about, those core things, you know, in addition to the core, you know, the board as a whole has taken training or received training in a particular issue, topic, or, you know, whatever, or individual members have participated in these activities as well. I mean, I think anything additional that an individual board member participates in would be something that would be a benefit in an external review situation. You know, the other thought that comes to my mind is that if a board member chooses to do that, to come back, you know, to the board, share the information that you gathered and insights or you know, perspectives that you may have gained from that training, knowledge that you gained from that would be very helpful.
And then I would just point out, as you have time at home to read what I gave you and digest it, they do spell out level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and exactly what topics are expected for those levels. And then they also talk about possible evidence that can be, possible evidence of the training. So, anything else?
I do, Chairman Martin. So did they speak in terms of how many hours per year, or was it just a schedule, or so much per quarter? Was that ever?
It was not, and it's not clear, but I did give you the website, and that's where you go to read all the standards. Thank you, Dr. Turvey, for all this information. You can go there, and I have it, and I printed it, and it's all the standards of quality.
Okay.
So I would encourage all of you to become familiar. You're welcome. Anything else on this?
Thank you very much for the research.
Well, and I look forward to further conversation, and I think we probably need to make a plan sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We'll move to staff reports. Do we have anything on Wildlight Elementary?
I don't have anything specific except to tell you that they are working on the project. I haven't had an opportunity to visit the site since we did the groundbreaking, and to the best of my knowledge, everything is on target at this particular point. Unless Mr. Burnett has something he'd like to add specifically, I think it's going well. The weather's been good. We need the rain, but we haven't had any rain to interfere with the project, so you know, been able to take advantage of that.
Road bids tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
The road portion bids tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bids
yeah.
tomorrow. Any questions or comments from the board? And just, you know, I've still had a lot of questions about all the colorful banners, and now there's banners and tree wraps, and that isn't the school district doing that, that's Wildlight. And I understand there's a website now, was it wildlifelife.com or something, but it's on the banners if you drive by.
Here's one thing I'll mention about that, and it's not related to the construction, but it was brought up, we had a little discussion about the trademarking issue.
Yes.
And so I have you know, have a draft contract with regard to that, issue from Radiant Rayonier at this point. I don't care if it's Radiant or Rayonier, it's in the contract. Mr. Hackett has a copy of it, and so we'll be reviewing that and working with them on that particular issue. Like I said before, I don't think it's going to be a problem or an issue for anyone, but it is good to have something in writing, I think, in an agreement, contractual form for that purpose.
Thank you for sharing. Anything else on Waggle Lake Elementary School? So we, I think, have a staff report on the district website.
Madam Chair, can I just add something?
Yes, I'm sorry.
And I am excited about hearing about this website because I've been talking about it for a while. But also, I know I've talked to Adam, the discussion we had, I believe it was in the last meeting, about the information I had about the Bitcoins and the security of the school district, and I know he has some information on that as well.
Yeah, so at the last meeting, Dr. Burns has some questions about what are we doing to protect ourselves against those threats from the outside. And we do take very active steps to mitigate those threats from the outside. And that starts with security awareness training for our users. And one of the questions at times, have we sent anything out to our users? And we had almost immediately, once we knew we were vulnerable to that threat, we sent our users an email. And by users, I mean anybody with an email address at our district who clearly defined this is what your threat looks like. This is what to do when you receive a threat. And this is kind of the behavior of these vulnerabilities. And on top of that, we take very active steps every day to mitigate the threats. If you have a computer that's connected to the internet, you are vulnerable to threats. It's just the nature of the business. But we do a couple of things, you know, without getting into detail, we reviewed NIST 800-14, which is National Security Standards for IT standards practice, not just in education, but in enterprise IT network environments. We follow those standards pretty closely. We do regular reviews with our network access and share permissions to make sure we're not vulnerable. And not only that, kind of the coolest thing from my job, because as a techie thing we like to do, is we monitor every bit of traffic that goes in and out of our network. We're alerted the second one of our workstations inside of our network is potentially communicating with a vulnerability, we're alerted immediately and can shut that threat down. So we're by no means immune to the threats because they change by the hour, they change every day. We actively mitigate those threats the best we can. And if we ever are vulnerable or ever susceptible to those threats or attacked by those threats, we neutralize the threat very quickly. We do that by having a real good understanding of what normal network traffic looks like. And we know what normal network traffic looks like, you can detect an anomaly very quickly. So we do those things, our team does those things on a daily basis to protect. Again, ransomware is what it's called. It's a big deal though. It's bothering a lot of people.
Thank you.
Chairman, say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had it written down, and I forgot to bring the note that I wrote